motion that's on the floor. So I think we do have to entertain if we have a second. I did see a hand up by Commissioner Locolato.
I'm inclined to second, but I also feel like an appropriate thing to do. I would also be in favor of giving Commissioner Reed a minute to
Yeah, I don't mind granting everyone another minute. So I don't think we need to reset clocks. How about we sort of just, Commissioner Reed, can you keep your comments down to a minute, and we'll just see where we land.
Thank you very much. I would like to suggest a friendly amendment to the motion to deny the complaint, but not determine it unfounded, because that's a harsh penalty to the complainant. So I'm asking for this friendly amendment, and then to encourage this communication, like I said again, between the complainant and the city attorney's office.
Well, we have a current motion was from Commissioner Montgomery. This complaint denied and unfounded. Do we have a second for that one?
Yes, Commissioner.
Actually, yeah. So just to clarify, I'm inclined to second the motion. However, I am very conscious of my position as somebody who has an understanding of the legal landscape here. And so I wrestle with the unfounded distinction solely on the basis of whether, I don't feel I'm in the best position to determine what a layperson would interpret here, what a non-lawyer would think in terms of whether to bring a complaint in this instance. So I would love to hear from Commissioner Chen or Chair Tilos about really kind of the distinction between whether folks are leaning towards deny as unfounded or deny or something else. And I think with some broader assurance, and I appreciate Commissioner Montgomery being the one to make the motion, really getting it. I think for me, the unfounded question comes down to, sort of what a reasonable community member making a Public Records Act request would think. And so I probably shouldn't be the one to second, but I'm willing to go there depending on.
Okay, yeah, let's hold off on your second. It looks like we do have maybe some questions that other commissioners can answer for you, and looks like quite a few commissioners still have a lot more time if they want to answer that. And I do have some time. I'm leaning towards the unfounded, and clearly I'm not a lawyer, but how I've seen it, and reading the city's point of view on this, it's like we gave all the documents. Time is not the question here. That was withdrawn. So we gave all the documents. We did our due diligence, redacted the things that we thought should be redacted, and we fell, within what the law says to say is like, hey, why was it redacted? And there's two different reasons: the privilege part or the other part, and that's why it was redacted. And as Chief Assistant City Attorney stated, we don't have to tell you every single piece of why something was redacted, especially thousands of pages. So that's, I'm leaning towards the unfounded. As a non-lawyer person, I'm thinking, hey, I made a request and I know I'm getting 1,000 pages back. I know some of it's going to get redacted, but I'm not going to expect every single piece to be say, hey, we redacted because of this, this, and this. And that's why I specifically asked the question from our neutral city attorney, not on the side of the city nor on the side of the complainant. And it's like, what's your view on this? And she clearly stated, what the California Supreme Court said about this as well. So that's why I'm leaning towards the unfounded. Any other commissioners want to weigh in on Commissioner Locolato's request on views on this? Commissioner Chen?
Point of order, I'm confused now because according to Rosenberg's rules, Commissioner Montgomery made a motion and then Commissioner Reed made an amendment to her motion. So where are we at? What's the next step?
Well, then we said then I think we were out of time, and correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Clerk, was I okay to say we all get an extra minute on this?
Yes, I think that
Okay.
yes, you
So
can.
that's where we were. I do see your hand this time, Commissioner Montgomery. I'm going to get this last thought out to answer Commissioner Chen. So that's where we are. It's like, yes, we had a motion. We did have Commissioner Reed's friendly amendment to the motion. And then we said, well, you know what? We Some people's clocks have expired, so we added another minute to everyone's. So I think that's where we are, Commissioner Chen. And I think, like Madam Clerk said, that was okay. If I'm wrong, just let me know, Madam Clerk. But so
I think you're correct. I think maybe Commissioner Chen's confusion is over. The second or the friendly amendment, was it accepted, and is there a second? I think that's where, and that's I think what the question is.
so we're still on, and so we're trying to get a second for Commissioner Montgomery's original motion. Yes, go ahead, Commissioner Montgomery.
I just wanted to make it clear that I did not accept the friendly amendment.
Exactly. Your motion is the current one on the floor. Complaint denied as unfounded. Then we gave everyone a minute to say some more clarifying things because Commissioner Lopala was leaning towards seconding, but officially she didn't second it yet, so that's why we all got this extra minute. Commissioner Chen. So does that sort of explain?
Yes.
I really am trying to file, stick to the Rosenbergs. So that's why,
Yeah,
I've
because
been really trying to ask the questions when we can add a minute and just think, you know what, we could have had 9-minute clocks. So I'm glad we stuck with the 5-minute clocks and we just added the minute later. But yes, so Commissioner Chen.
I just didn't know where the second was going towards.
Okay, yes. So yes, it is the current original motion by Commissioner Montgomery, and we do still need a second. Commissioner Lopalato.
This is where I was kind of trying to encourage discussion. So, as given my legal perspective, I'm comfortable finding this unfounded. My sort of background with doing document productions, but Commissioner Chen, I'd also love to hear from you as someone who has been through this process, hasn't weighed in much. Obviously, Chair Tulos, thank you for weighing in. Commissioner Reed, I think we know where you stand. Just hoping to get a little more discussion.
Yeah, Commissioner Chen.
Yeah, I've just been really frustrated with this particular complaint because it kept changing every few hours, and there was no kind of time limit to this complaint per se because it's about and not about meeting notices. So there was an opportunity for the complainant to do more due diligence on the process. And this is not the first complaint he has filed. So I feel like, on the one hand, I didn't want to do unfounded because it seemed severe. But on the other hand, after listening to Commissioner Lopalato and Commissioner Montgomery, I realized that, there was an opportunity for the complainant to prepare a more solid complaint. And the responses from the attorney representing the city made it clear of the law that it is possible. That the city does not have to respond to every single redaction. And hearing from the speaker, from the public, that his experience has been to go back and forth with the city or the county to get what he needs seemed like a much more reasonable process, because I think Public Records Act requests are a big complicated, because the city doesn't always know exactly what you want, and you might not know exactly what you want until you see what you're getting, and then you can narrow down your focus. So it's a back and forth collaborative process, and not I asked for this, you didn't do it right, I'm going to file a complaint. this whole gotcha thing, gets me. So I was swayed by the other commissioners and the public speaker to really support the unfounded piece.
Commissioner Reed. Well,
I think I just have like a few seconds left, or did you
okay.
want to? So I just want to say a last few words. I think that punishing members of the public for bringing forth a Public Records Act complaint, especially in this situation where I think that it's very clear that there was some confusion and maybe just some misunderstanding that could be cured and corrected with encouraging some communication. I think that that punishing members of the public goes against the values of our open government. So I'm very disappointed that you're leaning towards unfounded, because that's a harsh punishment.
Thank you. Okay, so we did get that second from Commissioner Lopalato, correct? Okay, so we do have.
I'll make it official.
Yeah. I'm
A
pretty
second
sure
Commissioner Montgomery's motion.
Yeah, because you started off saying, based on your background and all this, that you feel comfortable, and I think you officially did say yes. So we do have Commissioner Montgomery's motion. We do have a second from Commissioner Lopalato. We do take your comments, in our decision-making process, Commissioner Reed, so thank you for sharing. Madam Clerk, let's do a vote, please.
Commissioners Chen,
Yes.
Lopalato,
Aye.
Montgomery,
Aye.
Reed,
No.
Chair Tilos.
Aye.
That carries 4-1.